frame looking pretty. We don't have any.
This big board. I miss anything.
Yeah. That looks all right to show.
We look like we're live. Yeah.
It looks official.
We should shut that door so there's not a shitload of background noise.
We're just testing everything out right now. We're looking at when we can start and all that good stuff.
Wait, how do I even do this?
You guys can get in. All right, we already have fans rolling in, but we'll start in a few minutes, guys. This is a live episode of The Scoop. It's like a scoop within the scoop.
There it is.
Chris is doing over there.
We're gonna do it live, people.
This is sideways now when I put on my IG.
Warrior Wins says never
That's
tried a
terrible.
BPI product, but excited to. You know what, Warrior Wins? After today, you're gonna want to love. You're gonna love us.
Never tried. So what? So what does he take currently?
What do you currently take, Warrior Wins? We're gonna take another minute, let everybody kind of roll in, answer some of your questions as we go along. We also will have a fire drill question, so you guys don't know us. We have Whitney Reed to the left. They'll do their introductions, but we're gonna be doing a live fire drill, so ask your questions away. Give it another 20 seconds to roll in, and then we'll go live, guys.
Where do they go to see it?
It's Muscle Tech.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Could be better. Hey, where do they go to see this shit? Tell us one more time.
YouTube.
Yep. Go to YouTube.
Our YouTube.
We're live.
Live on the BPI Sports YouTube.
Live
It's
on our
also on
YouTube.
the link of our Instagram page as well.
Click the link in the bio.
Yep. Click the link in the bio. That's going to be added somewhere. Next time we prepare, put a bunch of stuff on the board. We'll be ready to go.
Yeah, maybe I should write that up there. Click the link in the bio.
Hey, Roger, you were wondering when we were going to have another episode? We just kind of had to let this hurricane go by. We had to let this Olympia mess go by. Now we are back, my friend.
Roger's on?
Oh, Roger.
So Roger's a writer for everybody that has written anything. Written for Muscle and Fitness, written for bodybuilding.com. Kids
He also
legit,
frequently comments on our thing.
legit in the industry. He's a friend of mine from over the years. And
Yep.
my garage is a lot better than Roger's shed. But that kid works out in his, and I think he lives somewhere where it's really cold. I don't know where, but
Yeah. Where does he live?
I don't know. Antarctica?
Warrior asks, is BPI really effective? We're going to get into a bunch of those things today about the effectiveness of some of the products, but we're going to
Who
do
asked
our
that?
standard intro.
Am I in the
Warrior
screen?
wins.
All right,
You're
we're getting into
definitely-
this.
Yeah.
It's
We're
my keto move. It's keto today. We're talking about that today.
talking about everything today. You know, we still like to keep this a little casual, but we're going to do our official beginning, which is 5, 4, 3, 2, let's roll.
All right. Welcome to The Scoop with Chris and Whitney. I'm Whitney Reed, National Sales Manager at BPI Sports.
And I'm Chris McKenzie, Senior VP, BPI Sports, and we're coming to you live on a Friday from BPI Sports HQ here in Fort Lauderdale. This might become ugly.
Then it says this might become ugly. Might.
All right. So let's talk about our agenda real quick. I like to let everyone know what they're in for. We were at the Olympia a week or two ago, so we're going to touch on some of the Olympia stuff, both competition-wise, industry-wise, gossip-wise. What else? We got the fire drill. We're hoping to get some questions here. I actually want to step up, and I have my diet written out. I want to talk about it, and I know a lot of people, maybe our viewers are a little bit more in the know, but a lot of people have literally just asked me, like, just tell me what to eat.
Yeah. Well,
I got it. That answer is coming.
Over the last couple of weeks, because you're extremely lean. If anybody wasn't watching a few minutes ago, this guy's ripped.
We are
right
ready.
now.
Yeah. So let's see. Where do we want to begin?
Well, let's just start
the
off.
Olympia.
Yeah, well, let's just start off with where we've been for the past couple of weeks and why we haven't been filming The Scoop. I mean, obviously, we started off 3 weeks ago with Hurricane Irma.
Yep.
So everybody evacuated. We left the office early that week. So a lot of things going on. And then the next week we went to the Olympia, and we were going to attempt to do a live broadcast from the Olympia, but that didn't happen.
So you and India were displaced by the hurricane. You were
Correct.
in the evacuation zone.
I was in the evacuation zone, so I went up to Orlando because originally the
Hurricane
path
track.
of the hurricane had it coming straight to Fort Lauderdale, and luckily, I mean, for us, I'm sorry for the people on the west coast of Florida, it did go that direction, but we went up to Orlando, which actually was kind of a bad place to go because the hurricane
wound up
went
going
right
there.
through Orlando, but No major damages. It was actually, I think we got extremely lucky. I lost a tree in the backyard, and other than that, there was no damage. And you didn't have
any
anything.
feedback, by the way, guys. Sounds awesome.
All right. So we had to put up hurricane shelters in my house. Anybody's never lived in Florida, it's a ton of work, and I actually counted as my cardio because it was about 6 hours of up and down a ladder. And you got to wear gloves because the aluminum shingles cut your fingers.
And then there was that one pic that Jen, I think, posted of you that
On
your
the
wife
roof.
posted on the roof, and your back was ripped. I mean, you look
Yeah, my
great.
buddy Tim
That's a
said
good
Chris is
pic.
always
That's a
showing off.
Great picture.
Fucking hurricane can't stop me, man. So that was the hurricane week, and it was supposed to hit Friday. It really didn't hit hard until Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Lasted into Sunday, into Monday morning, and we were no power Monday. I was on a plane Tuesday, and you were on a plane Wednesday, heading out to
And the
Vegas.
headquarters were closed.
Well, no,
So
we
were
opened
partying all week.
because our CFO
CFO
came in and said, "Hey, the power's on." The fucking
Yeah.
internet didn't work,
Yeah.
so everyone sat at their computer.
Internet
twiddling their
didn't
thumbs
work, and there were trees down everywhere, so nobody could even.
Nowhere in the parking lot. The water wasn't drinkable,
Yeah.
but electricity was on.
Yeah.
We're very close to the airport in Fort Lauderdale, so we're probably on their grid, is what
Yeah.
I think. But then we were out to Vegas, and times are changing.
Man, but another Olympia down. I mean, I guess that was, I think the first year that I went
Wisdom.
to Olympia was 2006, maybe 2005. What was your first year?
2008 was my first Olympia. 2008 was my first Olympia.
Okay.
So I went out and, well, no, it's not true. I got the side note. I did go to that
You
one
went to the one in
Olympia.
New York.
Yeah, but I didn't
Yeah.
want to go to the Olympia. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just in my town, and I went to
Yeah.
see the show. But my first Vegas migration. So a couple things. The venue. I mean, it's the same venue. I always dislike how in Vegas Vegas is spread out, whereas the Arnold Classic, everything's right there. So I always hate that because you're in a cab a lot. The Orleans is off the strip in one side, and the convention center is off the strip in the other side, and everyone stays on the strip. So you're always on the go.
Yeah.
I like to walk. I walk every year. I did.
I do miss that walk.
I thought it would be a 25-minute walk from the Cosmopolitan to the convention center, and it was about 45.
Right. And the story was you walked to meet me at the Renaissance.
At the Renaissance.
Which was a 40-some minute walk.
And then we met to meet
and then
friends at dinner.
Then we drove right back to where you started.
Yeah, to the casino next to mine.
Yeah.
So stupid walk. Couple observations. If you haven't been out there and you're into fitness of any sort, you got to go. It is really a great time. If you're into bodybuilding, as we know, between the different divisions and everything, then you definitely have to go. A lot of new brands on the scene. A lot of big brands opting out or taking a smaller presence. I don't know if it's a changing of the guard, but it's cool to see how the trade show evolves.
Well, definitely. The one thing that I noticed this year more so than ever were larger booths from brands that I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
Because you do see a lot of the smaller booths, so with new brands and guys that are growing, but there were some massive booths this year from really unknown brands. I don't know if they're international brands or
yeah.
what.
But like a lot of guys try to make, it's like the Super Bowl ad for supplement people, and I don't know if anybody remembers, but the year that, and I'm not shitting on any other brands, but just saying it calling it like I see it. 2 years ago, there were two huge booths there. Gifted Athletics.
Yep.
And Shreds had the biggest booth.
They had that monster booth.
Yeah, they had like a 50-foot wall,
They
right?
came in like waving flags. I don't know if you remember, they brought their like Shreds Army in, and they had you had to get inside the booth and wait in this line. It's
quickly times change, man. It's only 2 years, and neither.
The Army is defeated.
Actually, Gifted was there. I think they were selling a lot of
Gifted was
clothing.
there.
So, those guys are, I don't know them or their business model, but they're muddling through. And on that note, I was a little let down with the apparel companies. Usually I go there and get some great T-shirts that say
Yeah, that's one thing that we enjoy doing. We always walk the floor. We get a couple 20-minute break and walk the floor and find some cool shirts and some different things. And
those guys
didn't
weren't
have that
nothing.
same feel, huh?
It was nothing.
I mean, a bunch of you guys came back, and it was just, we love being there. We love seeing all our friends and everything. But it just didn't have the excitement from the social standpoint and from the digital standpoint.
I think for us, one thing that did make a difference was having the hurricane the week before.
Yeah,
we were out of sorts. I mean, people have been traveling and getting out of town, and then you come back for a day, and then you hop on a flight, and you don't know if your house is all right or whatever. So it was a little weird to
that was odd. And we did something we don't normally do. This is our second time because we did it to Arnold, but we had like a big athlete pavilion and not a true business-oriented booth with breakout tables like we normally have. We usually sit down and write a lot of orders. This year, we put our kind of consumers first and gave them access to the guys on the BPI roster.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, Jay Cutler is the biggest athlete in the industry, and he happens to be on our team. So, Jay had a great following, very loyal, and Jay has some other brands he works with. I think Automax, and he had to make an appearance in one of the retail booths, and his line just kind of moves around with him.
Right,
People
they
wait.
follow him
He was
around.
kind of the celebrity.
He was
the Amazon stage.
Yeah,
Those guys from
he was a
Amazon.
celebrity in every stage he went to, and I got a funny story about one Olympia competitor who kind of like had a little temper tantrum in Jay's line, but I don't want to. I mean, the guy was
Yeah.
guy was one day.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy was one day out for the
Chris,
show.
if you want to know who it is.
Without dropping the name, people are gonna ask who it is.
I'm not going to drop his name, but I think
He wouldn't have reacted the same way if he would have known that was.
Yeah,
Jay.
so he didn't know it was Jay's line, and he's a pro, and he was in the Olympia. He had a great year, won a big show in Tampa, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. So comes walking through the crowd, all like in the zone, and he hits this like wall of people. And one of our friends, who's friends with Jay, was like, "Oh, you got to go around. This is the line for Jay." And he like
Nudged him off.
yeah. First of all, the dude's like 8 feet wide, so
Right.
you're not trying that far. Gave a little like shrugged him off, and all like pissy walked through. So. It's funny. And then there's Jay, like Mr. Cool, but Jay, Reagan,
Jose Raymond.
Jose
of course.
killed it.
Jose looked amazing. I think
Yeah.
it was the best he's ever looked. The best I've ever seen.
So one thing I got to say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but talking sports wise on bodybuilding, most people the day before a show, and I'm talking NPC guys competing in like the fucking Florida state, not even the Nationals.
Cross Street Pro.
Yeah, day before a show, they lock themselves in their house, put their feet up on a couch, put their hood on as if people can see them with their hood on, and like go into this trance. Day before Jose, hours before he competes, he's like in our booth telling jokes to people.
Oh yeah.
And he had been eating, and I said the same. Like, you see this kid, it looks like he gained about 20 pounds of solid muscle.
Growing right in
Yeah.
front of you. It's
And
just freaky.
I mean, for Jose to make himself that accessible to fans, we had a great interview with Courtney the week before. She really put herself out there.
Yeah, she had a huge line there. I mean, the entire time she was at her booth. I mean, they just that actually was really surprising to me. I know that she's extremely popular, but I mean that line
The year she
went.
wasn't even competing was her biggest, fan.
Biggest
Yeah,
fanfare.
yeah. No, that was great.
And she does spend a lot of time with everyone in line. I mean, I don't blame people for really being drawn to her because, say you are drawn to Tom Cruise. If ever you were to meet him, he probably wouldn't even pause for a selfie. And Courtney's there, and people are telling her how one of her videos changed
Right.
their entire workout life. or
Yeah, she was
something.
sitting 10 minutes per person,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's pretty cool.
Tom Cruise is
Yeah.
a big head, though.
That's what they
Yeah.
say. Although he is from New Jersey, so we'll give him
Is he
that.
really?
Yeah, Glen Ridge, man.
He's from Mars.
I didn't know that.
So,
Just going to the next thing after the. Yeah.
I don't even know where we
wait,
are.
one more thing on the Olympia.
What's that?
We got to just say, this big Ramy guy really put himself on the map.
Yeah, wow.
Wow. I will agree, Phil deserved to win. I mean,
Yep.
not by much, but he had it.
Phil wasn't at his best.
I did text you guys the day before, and I was like,
Yeah,
Dennis
Dennis,
was-
Dennis called it.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Sports Center type.
Randy
Yeah.
looks like two people put together.
Phil didn't look his best. He still looked, like you said, good enough to win. But that guy, holy shit. I mean, he's so wide. I mean, he makes everybody look tiny on stage.
Looks like the biggest person ever.
He's enormous.
Yeah.
And then he went on to win.
Then he won in Spain last
Yeah,
week.
the Spain show last. Yeah.
Right.
So, and I guess we're not even getting into this, but there's some controversy about what's going on with the IFBB.
I don't fully understand.
Yeah, I don't either. Something with I always make the joke, that the international IFBB guys take it really serious, and I in a professional way. They always walk around the show like it's bodybuilding. Everyone's in a tank top, and girls are in hot pants, and the guys from Europe are in a blue blazer with the IFBB
yeah.
crest on it, like a tie pin, and
They're serious.
Yeah, they're
The
serious.
Elon Drago.
They are
Yeah,
serious.
so something's going on. Anyway, that's enough about bodybuilding. Anything you got? I
Just
don't
make
know.
sure you guys subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. And then leave comments below for the fire drill. So we're going to be answering questions here pretty soon. So if you guys have questions, drop them in now. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
All
Let me
right,
see.
so we're going to get right into it here with
Songs for Jim
Songs
Hype? I
for-
don't know, man. Is anybody watching right now?
Yeah. people
Give us some of
watching.
those thumbs up or floating smiley faces if you want to hear about songs for
Well, a
motivation.
couple of things. So we don't have to get into a bunch of them, but I know whenever I go to your garage gym, you're always playing two kinds of music. It's either they're from New York or you're not. There's no music on.
Or New Jersey.
Yeah, it's either
Right.
from New York or New Jersey. So what are those two guys that when you were younger, that's not trying to go into the gym, but you pop this old cassette into the,
All right.
to the
Old
thing?
Good
cassette.
question.
I'm going to give you one that I always listen to if I don't
Sure.
feel like trying, if
Surefire.
I can't find anything new on especially new. Let's talk about new music for a second, because I'm a huge hip hop fan. Chris is as well. We've always loved East Coast rap music, and I've been listening to it since the early '90s, since I was a kid. New rap music sucks. It's terrible.
Mumble rap.
It's not even. I mean, the mumble rap was one thing, and then it turned into who's that guy that everybody talks about now? Come on, he shaved his eyebrows. I saw it on Instagram. Tentacion. I don't even know what this thing is. Yeah, that guy. I think he lives right up the street here or something. He's awful.
Or Nicki Minaj does a hook on a song where
Right.
she uses the word China to rhyme with the word China in like 8 verses. It's like
Right.
this isn't even yeah.
It's awful, but
Maybe they like it in China.
Yeah.
But you don't like it here in Florida.
But there's one new song that I've been to Chris's garage and he bumps.
What is it?
That T Grizzly.
Yeah.
On my
I like
no
that.
effort. Or,
Yeah.
I
Do
like
this
that.
shit with no effort. It's so perfect for the gym too.
Yeah,
even though
I
I'm
like
sure.
that. But
One of those old school
I'm gonna
guys.
say my go-to cassette tape, because I had this tape and I think it's 1995. Nas Illmatic.
Yeah,
I can listen
that's what I
to
was gonna
that
say.
album from start to finish, and that's great. As far as for me.
I mean, I
and
love
Jim.
Jay-Z, so I'm so
Yeah.
bummed that Nas's career ended
know.
from a Jay-Z beef because I love both of
Jay-Z
them. But
just killed him.
with that Nas album back
Yeah,
then,
that Illmatic was great. Absolutely.
and
And then he tried to come back with that Ether album, and
Ether was good.
it was pretty good, but Jay-Z killed him.
Hip-hop.
Now Jay-Z's hanging out with
Hip hop is dead.
Obama, so. I
And
don't know what I'm saying.
One of our regular weekly segments we do every week is our Freak of the Week. All right. Now, we've been avoiding this one freak for a little bit, but I think the freak's about to come out the cage, so we want to be the ones that open the cage.
Oh.
Who's our Freak of the Week this week, Chris?
Someone I saw training legs the other day.
Yeah.
Training legs gets you freak status anyway, but
Yeah.
training legs fresh off a
Yep.
double broken bone
Yep.
/ torn everything.
I tore everything.
Whitney Reed, freak of the week.
Freak of the week. I'm not at the freak level yet, but I'm gonna be back.
Dude, 95 pounds on squats.
I'm gonna be
It
back.
doesn't sound like much, but when it's your first squat since June and you were in a boot for however long, and your doctor, gives you warnings, and you're still going all the way down.
Yeah, so I went to my my follow up yesterday, and recovery was I'm on track. Everything's fine, and I do have a plate. If any, I don't know. Can they see that? I don't know.
Possibly. Get it a little bit more to the
I don't know if
to
I
the
can.
left.
I don't know if I can. If I turn this way, I don't know if anybody can see that nice scar there.
Let's see if we can move it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just not pretty. It's not doing it justice.
Okay, so I've got a plate here with like 10 screws, and then got a couple pins on this side, and I tore everything. It was a pretty nasty break. So finally getting back and doing legs. I did go to the like I said, went to the doctor yesterday for my follow up. X-rays look good, but I probably will have to get it scoped. I've got some scar tissue in there, and it's clicking pretty bad and hanging. But yeah, back on legs, doing it.
I got something that could potentially become a meme. Anybody that refers to squats as back squats
Back squat.
is a total pussy. Because there's only one way to do squats. I see that all the time.
Back
People say, "Oh, I
squats.
did my back squats today."
What's that even mean?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh boy,
So, Freak of the Week, Whitney. Awesome. So,
honored.
on that note, yeah, awesome. So, and we've obviously wanted to keep everyone updated on Whitney's leg. Another thing that we've wanted to dive into and haven't yet, and we're going to spend a couple minutes here. I'll be quick, and I hope we get some questions because I'll try and answer them. But dieting and how you and I diet.
Right.
And one good thing Whitney and I have in common is we see our diet the same way. And I don't think either of us really consider ourselves true ketogenic dieters.
Right.
But the one theme that ketogenic has that our diets have, you're looking at a couple things. You're looking at glycemic reflex. It's all about low blood sugar. It's all about burning either protein calories or fat calories in the absence of carbohydrate calories. And if you take that even a step further and like really ignite the fat burning engine, that's where like true ketogenic dieting gets into, where like somewhere upward of 78% of your calories consumed are from fat.
From fat, yeah.
I don't like that, and I don't think any bodybuilder is really comfortable unless you have a guru coaching you through it, doing that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough to go like true. I don't know how many people in general that say they're doing a ketogenic diet are really doing a true keto diet, because it's
Yeah.
almost impossible.
So a lot of people use the phrase modified keto, and I
Right.
don't know if that's fair to the true keto people. But again, looking at glycemic index, looking at glycemic response, and worrying about blood sugar, while keeping protein as the dominant
Right.
portion of your calories, that's the diet I like, and it's worked for me a ton over the years. I actually did write up my diet here, and I'm going to show it to you. And even more than that, I want to address a couple of the BPI family of products. So let me see if I can get this in the frame here. We are totally ghetto on the show here, so let's see if this will work. If you're interested, you could probably screenshot this, but this is my daily food intake. And I'm going to run you through it real quick. And at the bottom there, you can see the chart of protein, of calories, protein, carbs, and fat.
Now, with this, when did you start this meal plan?
So,
Because I know this is like your kind of contest
Right.
prep type.
so this
thing,
is like the end of my meal plan. Because
Right.
what I do is as I progress, I always have some extra things up in the front of a diet that you cut out as you go on, because
Right.
the whole point is you need to ratchet it tighter and tighter. One mistake I think a lot of people make is they say, my diet starts Monday. Monday, they cut out everything, and one that causes them to crash because they can't handle that change.
Mhm.
Or if they do survive it, they get about 4 weeks in and they're like, all right, time to take it to the next level.
There's nowhere to go.
And they're eating nothing but like almonds and eggs all day long. And you're like,
Right.
fuck, what do I cut out? So the one thing I really want to start on though, fasted cardio is an amazing tool for any dieter. And there's a lot of science that says fasted cardio doesn't do anything different than having calories in you. There's a lot of bro science that says it works. And I got to be honest, I really believe the bro science. You get up, you don't eat, and you get into your cardio. Because we do so much business in the BCA space, we've kind of always taken our BCAAs before that, until recently when we launched this product, which I want to talk about for a moment, Keto Aminos. And this is as Dennis would say, shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
But it's actually not totally shameless. So what we've done is we've kind of destructured protein into raw amino acids. That's what an amino product is. So Keto Aminos is actually a full array of amino acids, not just the BCAAs. It also contains some healthy fats, which is what gets you into the ketogenic dieting. And it also contains some actual ketones, BHB salts, which are also an electrolyte. So this is honestly, this is the official product of fasted cardio.
That's the tagline.
I mean, if we could tag that, I'm sure there's probably some legal mumbo
Dennis,
jumbo.
what is this product?
Oh, the official supplement of your fasted cardio.
That's it.
So, yeah, so this is one. I start my day with this. It's a 2-scoop serving. You get about 5 grams of amino acids, 5 grams of the ketogenic blend, and you also get your MCTs in there. And it also has just a touch of glutamine and citrulline.
Nice.
And we love citrulline. But one thing I would consider, anyone working out, I know the NBC Nationals are coming up. I'd love to think that some people who follow our show are competitors. This is a must for your early morning workouts, unless you wake up and eat first thing in the morning, which isn't a bad strategy either. But what I do in my day is generally I'll work out in the evenings. I'll wake up, I'll take some of this and a cup of coffee or maybe a little pre-workout, and I lay on the couch for like 15 minutes, like trying to talk myself out of doing cardio. But then I jump in, and this is actually a great tool. It's a great product, and it helps me. Another thing I do as the day goes on, and I'm only running through this because people ask all the time.
Definitely.
The pan, yeah. After this, I usually eat what I call my pancake. If you don't make this recipe, you got to get on it. It has some carbs, so again, it's not pure keto, but 5 egg whites and 1 whole egg, a 1/4 scoop of oats, a tablespoon of a flax chia seed mix, and I use about a quarter of a scoop of either ISO or whey HD just to get some flavor. Put it in the blender for a minute, put it in the pan for about 2 minutes, and fry it and flip it, and it almost tastes like a real pancake.
No, it's good.
And it fills you up. So there's usually a little protein in there. Mid-morning, I mix my ground beef and my ground turkey together. I used to always grill my chicken, and I would make my ground beef in a pan because you want to vary your protein sources. Then one day I realized, like, this is just twice as much cleaning and running.
Why the hell are you cooking
What the
both
fuck,
these
man?
things?
Do they
Yeah.
cook it the same? I'm sorry, it's a side question. No fire drill yet. Wow. But do they cook it the same way?
In a pan?
The
Ground
turkey and ground beef.
Well, to me, I cook the living hell out of everything.
He
so,
burns it. He burns
yeah.
the shit out of it,
So-
so it doesn't even matter.
And
no taste, nothing.
But
Well,
that is his specialty.
yeah,
It's
then I
this
put-
mixture of.
and it's great. I put
Yeah.
hot sauce and a little taco sauce and some.
What
stuff.
peppers did you just start using?
Those were they were out of jalapenos
Yeah,
at Walmart.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
got these habaneros. They were so hot.
Habanero peppers?
Yeah, habanero. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very spicy.
So
They're
yeah,
good.
they were hot. And sometimes I'll have a Greek yogurt with that, although a lot of people don't like the yogurt. Sometimes I have 3 egg whites. Lunch, though, I usually just have 2 scoops of protein and some almonds.
Yeah.
Nice and simple, convenient. I also usually take a CLA carnitine as a drink afterwards. One, it tastes great, but CLA and carnitine, great fat burning items. And the cool thing for us is That is actually a 2 scoop a day serving. I usually only take 1 scoop a day because I do get some additional CLA from BPI's amino products.
Yep.
And I take our Garcinia product, which has carnitine. So I use that as my setup. I'm going to hang on to these and go through them. And then I complement them with the rest. That's a nice thing about our product line. Afternoon meal. So after I have the protein, boom, right back to a ground beef, ground turkey, keeping whole foods as prominent as possible. 1/4 cup of almonds to get the healthy fat. Pre-workout. Guys think I'm crazy, but I have little carbs pre-workout. I usually put peanut butter on a rice cake, and
Any reason for that?
I just always have, and I love it. And then I've mentioned it before, but I usually eat a handful of potato chips.
Yeah, you're still doing the potato chips,
No
right?
matter what, man.
Yep.
It gets you so hard.
Specific flavor? Yeah.
No, regular.
Regular
Maybe-
potato chips.
maybe
You want that
kettle
salt.
And I do use our best pre, which I didn't put on the table, but we have a ketogenic pre-workout. Same thing, just pulling in a couple more fatty acids, a little bit more MCTs, and again, this has the BHB ketones in it, so that way when you know you're getting flat, it keeps you going. That always fits great. Post-workout, I have 2 dried pineapple rings because in the old days, people used to think that the enzymes in
Oh, yeah.
pineapple help digest
Yeah.
protein. I don't know. I just want a little sugar, and that's a nice
And
kind
they're
of
really
sugar.
good.
Yeah, and then I crank out 6 egg whites, a whole egg, and usually right before I start cooking it, I do have a survey of our BCAAs, or in this case, our BCAA shredded, because it has an ingredient called grains of paradise, which also helps to convert fat from utilizing more brown fat, which is brown fat requires calories, whereas standard fat does not require calories, so you can get a little extra burn. And then if I'm still hungry or I stay up late, scoop or 2 of protein, usually our ISO HD, and I do throw our carnitine and Garcinia in there. This is my second helping of carnitine to get me to the daily efficacious dose. Stacks great with our Garcinia, which was the biggest shit ever 4 or 5 years ago,
Yeah.
3 years ago. I still believe it. Garcinia was also huge in the 90s.
It was huge.
So great fat burning. And the only thing I've left out is creatine. Whitney and I have talked about it plenty. We both love creatine. I have 2 BPI products that I use like almost interchangeably. We have a product called Amino Strong. It's got citrulline in it as well, which we both love. It has 3 grams of creatine. So sometimes I beef it up with a little extra scoop of our best creatine defined. Sometimes when I'm on the run, I just take the best creatine defined and don't get into the citrulline piece. But this is where my creatine comes from.
Are you taking creatine at this point in your diet?
Always. I'll take creatine
Always.
right up till the end.
Because a lot of
So,
people won't take it, last, couple weeks of their
went from
diet. whatever it is.
198 pounds to
Yep.
180,
Right.
taking 7 grams of creatine a day.
Right.
So anybody dieting that's scared of creatine, I would urge you revisit your fears.
And you're not holding water, that's for sure.
There's
There's
no
no water.
water.
There's no water in that skin, that's for sure.
So listen, I appreciate you guys indulging me on running through that, and I honestly do get questions all the time. Like people are literally like, "Just tell me what you eat."
Right. I want to know the secret.
Yeah.
What
so-
Dennis? Can we have a link to this diet somewhere
diet.
posted
Yeah,
somewhere? I think we need to get a link to
After the
that.
show is done,
Mhm.
we'll get some digital copies.
Yeah,
from
you guys have it in marketing there.
Okay, we'll get
Yeah.
digital copies.
So we'll have that
There'll be a
posted
link
for
to it.
everybody. Yeah.
I mean, it's probably some of the most effective stuff you'll ever see.
Anyway, so that's enough about Chris McKenzie. I don't want to commandeer the scoop. So
All right. Well,
think they want more.
Speaking of commandeering,
Yeah.
we have a fire drill come in with a special guest today. I've invited him over.
Special guest referee.
Special guest referee for the fire drill. But let me do my thing. Sit right there behind Whitney. I can get you guys in the frame. You guys don't know who this is? I'll sit right there.
Right here.
Yep.
All right.
You guys will be all in the frame. This is a guy. He's a new guy, new athlete we just signed. James Gage. Happy
hasn't
to have
been
him
around the
with you.
industry all that
Well,
long.
you guys gotta let me do my thing. It's the roundhouse.
Hey, I'm gonna sit out the fire drill and let James do my answering.
Okay.
I just talked the time, so
You
I
did
don't want
just
to.
talk
I don't
the
want to
time.
overstay Chris's welcome.
We had a comment that said, "Get Chris to stop," and I'm just kidding, guys. All right, we're gonna just kind of get right into it. Bunch of questions from not only from people that have emailed us before that we took a couple weeks off, but now we have guys.
We got some-
Is that what the fire drill is Q&A?
Yeah,
quick
it's
Q&A.
rapid fire. So you
But
got
it's
Rapid
not-
fire?
it's
Oh,
not.
man.
James, you better.
Are you
I'm not good at short answers.
We'll try to keep them pretty short, but give them what they want. All right. The first question will go whoever wants to pick it up. Not Chris. Can I lose fat and build muscle at the same time?
What do you think, James?
Look, you're talking about 2 totally different states. You want to lose fat, you're talking about being in a deficit state. You want to build muscle, that's in a surplus state. I think there is a dance. I mean, you know, you and I agree on this, Chris. I think you'd probably agree too. That's where like carb cycling programs come in. You know, so your low carb days are also lower calorie days, periods. You know, where you're in a deficit. You can go ahead and you can lose a little bit of fat, jump back in, bring some calories back in.
Yep.
You know, on your high carb days and put yourself more in an anabolic environment. You
Ken,
know,
I gotta send you a voicemail right now. I'm sorry.
here's my short answer. Since it's supposed to be fast, I really believe there isn't a short-term solution. I think it'll work. I think you get leaner. I do think you're going to ultimately sacrifice muscle no matter what strategy you use, just no matter how much.
If you're in a deficit, you are going to lose something.
If you're getting leaner, you're losing a little bit of muscle, no matter what. I don't care if you're a pro bodybuilder. So, I mean, I believe more in a slow, steady approach. I think over a longer period of time, you just focus, you know, keep your calories clean, you know, just focus, train hard, do your cardio. And I think over a period of time, you can build muscle and get leaner, but it's just not a quick, easy solution.
Now, another way to look at that, because I totally agree with you on that, but let's say somebody is dieting for a show or whatever, and they take this, you know, the 12 weeks, 16 weeks, whatever they're going to use for their diet, and they're really putting all of the pieces together. They're getting all the meals in, they're getting the right foods in, and it can appear as if they are getting leaner and building muscle, but it's only because they're doing the entire program and they're following it. In the off season, maybe you aren't eating enough protein or you aren't quite following like an off season plan.
Well, I think you also definitely get the one illusion that you're building muscle because you look more muscular,
Right.
because you're leaner. Two, there's also something you said. I'd say that most people don't eat the way they need to eat, even when they're building muscle. So
Right.
they're not getting enough calories. And even when people are trying to lose weight, same thing. You know, that's where the meal frequency comes in. Your average person, when you put them on a plan, say, okay, here's what you're going to eat over the next 12 weeks to lose weight. They're like, well, that's more food than I'm
Can't
eating
eat that
now.
much. Yeah.
How am I going to lose weight? But that's because they're eating 2 meals a day. They're, you know, eating too
Yep.
much during those meals. So with the meal frequency, smaller meals spread throughout the day, they find that their metabolism starts to ramp up. And ironically, I think it puts them in a better, you know, better anabolic environment to build
Yep.
muscle. So yeah, it really depends on where your starting point is.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Chris, you can't escape this one because.
Well, the answer is yes. Jose said he benched, 405 for more reps than ever 3 weeks out from the Olympia because he was on his game. So.
Right.
Was that the question?
He was focused on it. Yeah, I mean, he said that.
How many do you do?
What did he
Oh,
do?
10 probably.
Yeah,
It was
he just, I mean.
I said, you always go, he said, nah, but I'm totally dialed in when I'm getting ready
Right.
for a show. And it's easy.
He's a pit bull though. He's ridiculously
Right.
strong.
One of our buddies, Justin Smith, asked, can you stack keto aminos and shredded together? Would you recommend that? How would you approach it?
You could.
Yeah. Why not? There's definitely no
There's
stimulants.
no stim. Yeah, so you can do that, absolutely.
Okay, Whit, just
Yep.
a question for you.
Yep.
This was kind of a deep question. I kind of picked it because it was a cool question.
Right.
Can exercise help with my depression or just generally improve my mood?
Do you think that I'm depressed? Is that what you're
No,
asking me?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No, absolutely it can. I mean, I think research has shown that getting into the gym and exercising is going to help with serotonin levels. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel better about yourself. So it's definitely going to help with your mood in general. And if you're stressed out, you go to the gym, you work out, you release some of that stress. Yeah, it's going to make you feel better.
What about James? What do you think about that?
What, exercise makes?
Kind of. What do you
Look, even at the most basic level, I mean, think about it. Look at a lot of the reasons why people get depressed. I think a lot of it sometimes is a sense where you just don't have, much control over what's going on in your life at the time, or, whatever's causing it. But coming in, taking control of your life, it's something like when there's so many things in the world that you can't control, they're outside of your control. It's the one thing that you can control. You can take charge, take charge of your nutrition, get into the gym, do something constructive for yourself, where all of a sudden you feel like you're doing something positive. And, it's building blocks, right? You do something good and that's, builds momentum. You feel better. And, so from there, yeah, I definitely think it helps.
That probably goes right into the next one, which is, should I tell people about my goals to keep me accountable for better accountability? Is that one of the tricks or tips you guys have?
I think that you should have one person, maybe your training partner or whoever you're closest with, like to share that information with, but to go around and tell everyone I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to go compete in a show, I'm going to do this. It's not worth it. But if you do, you rely on your training partner, yeah, definitely.
Seems like I'm asking all these for myself.
I used to think so. I used to think that, tell a bunch of people, make an announcement on social media, hold yourself accountable, because you don't want to lose face. You told all your friends you're going to do
Right.
it. Then all of a sudden you don't do it. I don't think that's true because I've seen too many people make commitments in front of all their friends, say they're going to do something, and they slide right out of it, no problem.
Disappear.
Yeah, so I don't think that's the solution. I'm actually the opposite. I'm a big believer that I would rather spend less time talking about something because I feel like people get satisfaction out of talking about it. They have this great idea, this plan, this goal. And so they go around, they tell all their friends, and that's very satisfying to them. Like, oh, this is what I'm going to do.
As if they did it.
As if they did it.
Yeah,
They get
sure.
that same kind of reward from it. I'd rather just go ahead and harness that, keep it to myself, be quiet about my goals, and just quietly go do things.
Mhm.
Chris,
I agree.
should I train to failure? What does that mean anyway?
If you don't train to failure, you're training for failure.
Is that a t-shirt?
So that's not even on our question list, man.
Somebody just wrote in.
Oh, okay, man.
Yeah.
Fucking curveballs here. We prepped for about 30 seconds before this. The answer, I would say yes. I mean, I would always joke. I like to say everything heavy always. Unless it's a day when I'm really not feeling it and I'm just trying to get through a workout for the sake of making sure I hit the gym. There's not one day where I don't find at least one set that is to the wall and maybe even then some. And maybe it's not just one set. So I mean, listen, I'm a push yourself as hard as you can kind of guy. And I would say yes. Whoever asked that question, great question. Don't be a pussy. Train till you can't train anymore and push it as hard as you can.
I mean, look, we got to talk about this more just for a second because I think it's a big problem. You know, like what is training, like, you know, hitting that perfect threshold? What is that? Because I think it's relative to every person, you know, like their perception of what their threshold is. There's so many people that say, no, I can't do any more. Yet they can do more. They just don't want to do
Right.
more.
Just
But
do one more and then they do it.
But I mean, look, if you want to go with the safe answer, going until you can't do any more, at least you know you're pushing yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the upside to it.
Gonna kind of stick to training. Should I do a full body routine or a split routine?
At what point? Yeah, at what point of your
What's your
your
goal, I
training
guess?
plan, or like where are you as far as your training plan? How long have you been working out? What have you, you know?
Or even how many days a week you want to work. If you're
Yeah.
only working out 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Um,
The important thing is that you are training. And I mean that serious. You know,
Right.
just make sure you do something athletic. It's like I tell my kids, just do something athletic every day. Listen, you don't have to have a practice or whatever, but go hop on your bike and ride around the block for a while. You know, get your blood flow up, get your heart rate up.
Mhm.
If you do that every day, it's like Socrates, you know, back in the old writings, you know, you'll always maintain a healthy.
and someone teed us up perfectly for this.
Did you just go back to Socrates?
All the way back, man.
Yeah.
Somebody teed us up.
Body in
perfectly for
motion
this.
stays in motion.
What are some of the supplements I can take while doing fasted cardio?
Yeah. Well,
Well, you just
the
answered
official,
that. Yeah.
I mean, listen, the official
Supplement of
official
fasted-
supplement of fasted cardio.
This is, we talked about this the other day, actually, the three of us. This is one of the most underrated supplements out there, especially for fasted cardio. I think a lot of people just don't understand the benefits of why to take it.
We drove into that heavy.
Did you?
Right before you walked
Yeah, I
in.
mean, that product's awesome, especially as this best pre.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stacked with that right there.
And keto amino has really been kind of one of our secret products over the past year. We haven't you know, had it out there very much. I mean, it was available online here until recently. Now it's on shelf at Vitamin Shop. But yeah, definitely this is probably my favorite product out
I think
of
so.
our
We've
entire
had so
line.
many BCA winners that this is just another. It's his.
But this one's really specific. I mean, if you're looking to do fasted cardio, that's the product right there.
And this isn't it, but we have a tropical flavor that is probably one of my favorite.
It's so good.
Yeah,
'cause
what's the actual name though? It's
Tropical Breeze.
Tropical Breeze.
Yeah, and because of the I guess the MCT, it's a little thicker.
Yeah.
And it
Well, the
has,
coconut oil.
Yeah, coconut. So
anywhere,
it's
anywhere someone can find stuff.
Vitamin Shop.
Vitamin
yeah,
Shop.
and then we have it online and
BPI Sports.
BPI Sports. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Another one right here. What's the difference between compound and isolation exercise? Just want to do it quick because I think we've answered this before, but just quickly if they haven't heard it before.
I think basically would be defined as the amount of joints used in the exercise. So an isolation would be where just one joint moves, usually one muscle group. And the philosophy would be that the compound exercises are better for overall strength. But if you do have lagging body parts and you want to really isolate them, obviously you want to blast them and find the isolated
I
movement.
think it comes down to equipment too. I mean, you got to look at, like, everyone talks about old school exercise. I think when they talk old school, they talk compound. But when you only have like a pair of, you know, like a barbell and some basic stuff, if you want to hit every body part, you're going to end up doing compound movements.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have isolation machines, like try doing legs, you know, with just a bar.
Yeah, try doing a leg extension with no.
Right.
But if you're a beginner and you want to gain mass, gain size, get strong, whatever it is, and you do 3 compound movements a week, you're gonna grow.
Yeah.
Bench, squat, deadlift. You're gonna grow.
Yes, Dave.
Last two questions. fruits in my protein, yay or nay?
I'm not a fan, but it's personal preference. It depends on what what you're looking for as far
Anything
as
you want to
sugar.
avoid throwing into your protein shake?
I mean, the only thing is fruits do have sugar, so if you're trying to be particularly low calorie, it kind of is against it. But
And even post workout, if you're talking about post workout carbs, they're not even really an ideal
Fructose
source.
isn't the best.
Yeah, it's not even an ideal source of
Right.
post
I
workout.
mean, think back
although
in
a
the
frozen
day,
banana and a vanilla shake is pretty damn good.
Tastes awesome.
it's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
good.
awesome.
But back in the day, we used to always throw fruit in our shakes because shakes tasted like shit. They're pretty good now.
Yeah,
so
that's a great
you
point.
You
You
don't
had
need
to
to
put
do
fruit
that.
in.
Yeah.
Last question. How important is nutrient or meal timing? Sorry. How important is nutrient and meal timing?
Well, as has been said in the industry before, timing is everything.
Who said that?
So,
We
listen,
forgot our Kevin Jab for the day, so there that goes.
well, there is a big difference between specific nutrient timing and meal timing, so it's a tough one to answer like that. I mean, everyone does time out their meals. The idea is as soon as your stomach gets empty, you don't want to be running on empty. You want to put something new in there. And then the nutrient timing is saying there's certain times of day where things help me more. Like sugar right before bedtime does not really help your physique.
Right.
I would
Sugar
say
right after the
nutrient
gym
timing
may
to
help.
me the most important is going to be your carbohydrates. Timing your carbohydrates is important, revolving around your workouts.
Yep.
Even first thing in the morning, you come out, you wake up in the morning in a semi-fasted state, depending on when you ate dinner and when you wake up. But it's an important time of the day to get some carbs, but definitely post-workout, it's important.
And then if you are trying to do low carb or ketogenic dieting or just trying to cut weight, your amino acids, specifically your BCAAs, slide up that importance line because the carbs aren't there. And the carbs are important because they're a ready source of fuel. So if you're saying, I'm going to try and go into a caloric deficit, or the next important thing, the backfill for that is amino acids and specifically BCAAs.
I also think meal timing itself, so not necessarily nutrient timing, is important. I think that the more you can be like clockwork, I think the better when it comes to ramping up your metabolism. It's important, try to eat at those same times every day. And I find that it just works for, gradually over a period of time when metabolism starts, building faster and faster.
Yep.
Cool. I mean, I think people are tired. They're still watching us, but they're tired of us, I feel.
You're tired of us?
Well, wait, we got a quick athlete of the week to shout
Yeah,
out.
we're gonna wrap these up. Right?
Yeah, so-
stay and join us for the
Cool.
I'll let Whitney talk about him, but I will mention the name Parker Edgerton.
Parker. Actually met Parker at the Olympia for the first time a couple weeks ago. His Instagram is Parker_physique. We just signed him. I believe we signed him at the Olympia. That was right before.
Right before, yeah.
So very down to earth guy and amazing physique. He's got a great online coaching business here. If you go check out his Instagram page here, you can see all the stuff that he does. And real cool guy, down to earth. I talked to him about his clients and how his approach is with training. And he's one of the few guys that does like the online training that you can tell actually cares about his clients. I don't know if you got a chance to talk to him or not, but he's very involved with communicating with every client and knowing
this guy
that,
takes it personally.
yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
serious issue with him. I know there's a lot of these type of businesses where you get like an automated response. You're not going to get that from this guy, that's for sure.
It's like
And-
Amazon customer service when you call in.
Right. Not with this guy. He definitely takes
Isn't he
it
heading off
personal.
to Australia to hang out with Callum and
Yeah, I think he's got something going on out there, and
Yeah.
he's in that mix of that new school kind of crew that you see out in
Great
Venice. Yeah, he's got an awesome beard. And on a side note, I found out that he's actually from not too far away from my hometown. He grew up in a little area outside of Virginia Beach, a little small place called Chicks Beach, and it's famous for a place called Chicks Oyster Bar, where all the Navy SEALs hang out. And that his brother's a Navy SEAL, and he mentioned that's where he met his wife there when he was hanging out there one night. And oddly enough, if you look across the bay there, it's a beautiful setting. You look across the bay and there's this gigantic house with a copper roof and Neptune statues out front. And that's where Pharrell lives.
The musician
Yeah,
Pharrell lives
yeah.
there.
Anybody that
King
keeps
of-
up with music,
King of
produce.
Virginia Beach.
Yeah, King of Virginia Beach. That's where he lives. So it's a cool little area.
What about our ambassadors of the week, Chris?
Well, we're going to shout out the entire BPI Sports UK crew. And if you don't follow them on Instagram, it's BPI_sports_UK. They are our partners over there on the little island. These guys run an amazing business. They run an amazing social media. I mean, I haven't been to the UK in a couple of years. James over there recently, but it's like everybody in the gym over there like just wants to be a part of Team BPI because of how these guys portray the brand and portray what our brand really does represent. So
Can you
They
share a
got some-
little
they
bit
got
of your
some-
experience from your last trip over there?
Yeah, I mean, well, look, it's just, BPI's got the vibe over there in the UK. It's just like kind of the place to be. Our booth at Body Power, which is the big fitness expo over there in the UK. We just had, some of the best athletes in Europe over in our booth, and it just is a good vibe. Everyone's really excited to be there, excited to be a part of it, and it's nice to be around that. It's reinvigorating, and I think, the longer that I'm in the fitness industry, the more I find that refreshing, because it reinvigorates me and, gets me kind of pumped up to get back in the gym and train hard.
And we talk about a lot. We got to remember too, we're mature now, and
Is that the word?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, mature brand here in the U.S. for sure.
No,
So-
I mean us.
He's talking about
personally.
us.
yeah.
Like James is right. We know how to work out, or we know how we like to work out. Maybe we're not right, but we're too set in our ways.
Yes.
You got to remember, when you're in your 20s, you're still looking for pieces of the puzzle, and you're still looking at what's the other guy doing. I mean, now we only look at what they're doing to wonder how many fucking sets they have left on the squat rack because you're too grumpy. But when you're a kid, what's that guy up to? Or that guy's got, Whitney's got the biggest triceps I ever saw. Like, what does he do for
What does he do?
triceps? And the
Yeah.
answer is he doesn't even train them. That's the irony.
But they've
But
got
like, they have that vibe and that excitement.
They got that vibe, that excitement, and it's not just BPI over there. I would say the UK market in general. It's just like fitness is booming over there right now. It reminds me of the US 15 years ago. Really,
It's so new.
It's so
Yeah.
new, and the UK team's got some crazy athletes with some crazy
do.
physiques, both men and women. They're kind of dominating that whole fitness scene over there right
it
now.
seems like everybody that's in shape in the UK is on BPI UK.
Definitely.
I think.
All right, guys, let's pay some bills now.
All right. Wait, what do you got at VS this week?
VS in a little transition mode here at VS at the end of the month, but next month, as always, we've got some great deals going on. But BCA with
Does
Energy,
everyone know what VS is?
Vitamin Shop. I'm sorry,
Yes. Vitamin Shop.
Vitamin Shop. Best BCA's with Energy just hit shelf, so be sure to check that new SKU out. And then, are we mentioning the new products yet? Have we?
No, we got
launched
a
that?
big
Okay,
reveal.
so, yeah,
It's
we've
out
got-
there, but we got to do the reveal
Yeah,
next week.
some people have heard about it, but there's some really big things happening that we're working on, and look for those things.
If you mention anything, I'm
No,
Next week.
look for some really big things at the end of October into November at the Vitamin Shop.
And then I would say, my friends over at GNC, we have a suite of products designed just for GNC stores to sell. Great fat burner, Niogenics. It's an anti-aging oriented fat burner. We talked a lot about Amino Strong with the citrulline and the creatine, and another citrulline heavy pre-workout called BAM. These are great products available only at GNC,
Nice.
and I'm mentioning them now because they're all on promo this month. So if you're looking for a really good deal on some true premium products, these can fit the bill really
I mean, look,
well.
not to talk about from a pitchy standpoint, but especially, BAM and Amino Strong, personally, those are two of my favorites right there. BAM as a pre-workout. I can't tell you the last time I got really excited about pre-workout, but, if you're in a GNC, go pick one up, spin it around, look at the facts panel on there. You'll see the ingredients on it. I mean, that's a kick-ass formula.
Yeah, we're
right
running
there.
about $10 off on each SKU this month, so it's a big deal. And of course, on our website, we have some BCA promos running all month. Log on to bpisports.com. If you have a friend who's involved in our brand rep program, they probably got a coupon code. Make your boys some money and check them out. Drop that code, because we're getting really friendly with our end users. Everybody's got a little reason to be referring friends in, and we appreciate that. Finally, I want to thank you, Dennis. You produced a great episode for us, and Dennis wants to hear your customer feedback, your feedback on the show. DENIZ.
No.
Have
Cancel.
Long emails with footnotes are how Dennis prefers it. So please, attachments are great.
And personal pictures.
Yeah.
Definitely. I want to follow up that with the point on Dennis here. It's Friday. It's the end of the month. And for anybody that's involved in sales, month end is tough for anybody in sales. Dennis was determined to get this film today. So he came back to the office every 20, 30 minutes, making sure that we were going to be here. So thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that.
Consistency.
You know what
Yeah.
you should do next episode? You should do, because I heard you guys talking about Olympia and Olympia experiences. Next episode, you should talk about, because I think it's a pretty cool moment in the history of the Olympia, when you and I went backstage when Jay made his comeback, because I
Yeah.
think that was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah.
Whole comeback episode, because that was an epic year. That was the first year I was here, and it was just like the perfect vehicle.
Maybe we can
for
get
us
Jay to
launch.
chime in on that one.
Yeah, I think we can get him to chime in.
Well, because it was such like a distinct moment,
Instead he just
before he stepped on
Text you
stage.
thumbs down pictures while you're on, right? The thumbs down emoji while you're doing the scoop. In closing, listen, thank you guys for joining in. We like to get out every Wednesday, although we did a live one this week. Podcast is also for free on the BPI Sports YouTube channel and bpisports.com. And until next time, remember, Keto Aminos, the official product of fasted cardio. And if you're not doing your cardio and you're in the gym, don't be a pussy. All right.
Yeah, we